Thank you.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and appreciate this conversation because we want to get this right? We want to make sure that we are getting the money to our veterans that they need, that they deserve, and that we are being good stewards of taxpayer money. In my round of questioning, I will refresh everyone's memory because it was a second ago. I was talking with Ms. Tan about whether this was a function of scale, not an issue of lack of proper controls. And she sort of said more it's a function of scale. And I just wanted a second opinion on that. Mr. Arante, do you agree with that assessment?
To some degree, sir, I do. It is a matter of scale. So if you look at the PIA thresholds, those PIA thresholds are across the government. Every agency has those same thresholds. So if you're conducting a risk assessment of the National Science Foundation and their budget is like this, they mess one thing up and it's high risk. DOD, HHS, VA, their budget is like this. So they get this much more leeway to make mistakes or have acceptable mistakes. That's why I am a firm believer that as it relates to compensation, compensation has been on and off the PIA program throughout the years. But as the chairman indicated in his opening statements, we have a body of work that shows constantly that there are improper payments. And then in the last 9 reports I've issued, 7 show incorrect effective dates that lead to improper payments. I think that's enough where compensation should be, I think they should make an exception. I think compensation should be on their high priority list until the numbers come down. And the reason I say that, because if you look at some of the programs that are tested in the PIA, communications, utilities, and rent, those improper payments have dropped to 0.5%. Medical care contracts have dropped over 2%. VA community care has dropped from 5% to 1%. That tells me the process works, but you got to keep those programs on whether they meet the threshold or not, just because it is a form of function. There's just so much disparity in the budget that allows more mistakes with bigger organizations.
And Mr. Arante, is there anything that is stopping the VA from complying with PIA?
No.
Okay, voluntarily complying, I should say.
No. And that's what our work is. I have mixed emotions about the effectiveness of PIA. The good thing about PIA is it's our oversight of the department, and it's compliance, and we test to make sure that the department is following the rules. It's a strictly compliance audit. It doesn't get very deep, but they are following the rules.
And the chairman said something that I echo and find interesting when talking with Ms. Gilson about tell us what you need, right? Tell us what you need so we can help fix this problem. And we heard some suggestions from her potentially, just from a different point of view. Mr. Arante, do you have any suggestions for what Congress can do to help make the situation better?
In regards to PIA, other than the recommendations that we make, I have no other guidance or suggestions. Like I said, our review is strictly compliance. It doesn't dig in deep, doesn't look for what we would typically do in a normal audit. We don't look for the root cause. We just look at compliance as mandated by OMB.
Ms. Tan, in a June 2024 report, the OIG found that VBA had not identified Vietnam veterans who were eligible for benefits, and that resulted in an underpayment of $836.8 million. Another 2024 review looking at survivors showed $33.1 million in underpayments. Both of those reports have open actions, including a full review of claims, better outreach letters, and monetary compensation. Do you know where those reviews stand at this time?
Sir, for the one that you mentioned regarding survivors payments, I'll ask Mr. Friel to respond to that one. Can you repeat the first one that you mentioned? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Sure. We were talking about the 2024 OIG report that Vietnam veterans who were eligible for benefits had not received them in payments of $836.8 million, and another looking at survivors in 2024 showed $33.1 million underpayments. Both of those reports have open actions, including a full review of claims, better outreach letter, monetary compensation. We're just seeing where those reviews stand right now and getting the veterans what they've they've earned.
Certainly, I'll take back, if I can, that question about the Vietnam veterans report to see where those action items are, and I'll ask Mr. Friel if he has an update on the survivors.
Yes, sir, thank you for that question. So as it relates to the survivors piece, we have adjusted our processes. One of the things that the IG called out was in the PAC Act required that survivors specifically asked for us to look back, right, to see if there was an earlier effective date. And so that was our initial training in concurrence with or coordination with the IG and the OGC. We have amended our processes now to say that a reopened DIC is in fact a claim for us to look back. So that will help close that gap. We are continuing to work. I think we have under 20 claims left to make the proper adjudication and adjust the rates to ensure the survivors get the right amount.
Thank you, Mr. Friel. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.